Without any further ado, let's go. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and welcome back to Headlocks and Hot Packs. If it's your first time joining, my name is Eric, and usually I don't stutter that bad, but this is my mom here.
Hey, welcome to the channel.
That's right. Thanks for joining or returning, either one. But we're going to be checking out some music today. We've been on a long journey of me introducing her to some of my all-time favorite rap and hip-hop songs and kind of breaking the stereotype, which we've done a pretty good job at.
Yes.
So tonight we're going to be introducing a new artist to Mom. We've heard a bunch of members of G-Unit. Of course, we've obviously heard 50 so far, one of your favorites. We've heard a couple from Lloyd Banks, a couple from The Game so far. So we're going to be getting into the Dirty South member of G-Unit tonight. This is going to be the first time for Mom hearing Young Buck. This one is featuring 50 Cent, and this one is called Let Me In. This was the first single off of his debut album in 2004 called Straight Outta Cashville. He's actually out of Nashville, Tennessee, so that's why you call it Cashville. The backstory on him is, so obviously The Game was like their West Coast rapper, Young Buck was their Dirty South kind of rapper, and then 50 and Lloyd Banks, and then another member of G-Unit that I haven't had you listen to yet. We're all kind of like New York, so they were kind of like reaching out and representing different regions of the country, basically. So the order was 50, Lloyd Banks, and then another guy, Tony Yayo, who we haven't heard yet. And then Young Buck was brought on, and then The Game last. But Young Buck, before he got signed to G-Unit, he was on the same record label as like Lil Wayne and Juvenile and Birdman. So he was with Cash Money Records, but he was like a background kind of player. He never really I don't think he ever had any features or anything that I know of. If he did, it was on like an album cut or something like that. So this was kind of his real first foray like on his own. Before this, G-Unit did a group album and he was featured on there quite a bit. So it was kind of like an album that introduced other people to Lloyd Banks and Young Buck on the mainstream level, because then their solos dropped after the G-Unit album. Okay. So, but this was his debut, again, the first single off of that album. He is a Dirty South rapper, so it's going to be a different feel to it than like 50 or Lloyd Banks that we've heard so far. So I don't know how you're going to feel about it. I don't think you would have heard this one before. But without any further ado, let's go ahead. Good. I think it's good. It's, like I said, a different kind of a feel to the G-Unit that we've listened to so far. So let's check it out. It is Let Me In from 2004, Young Buck.
Yeah. It's 50 Cent.
You always gotta have the Flick a glitch.
We back up in this bitch again. We party harder than you can imagine. You can run with losers or run with winners and win. I feel the tension when I walk in the club. G-Unit to the socks, bitches all on the throat. Give me a Henny on the rocks and a bottle of bull. I don't need security, this whole nickel enough. I came to ball with y'all, buy out the bar and all. So bitches call your hoes and niggas call your dog. I'm here to love your wife, keep her at home tonight. She might never come home again, nigga, aight? Neck wrist, all lights, my life like riding in Cashville and running on stoplights. Homie, it's that real. I pray I keep living. My mama just had a dream of seeing me in prison. My daddy's a dope fiend and I don't really miss him. Ain't seen him in 10 years and the nigga still living. The same old toots that we moved to a rhythm. 50 holler, get him, boy. You know I'm gon' get him. I know you gon' let me shine and get mine. I know you gon' let me in with this 9. I know you gon' let me smoke up my weed. I know you gon' let me drink with no ID. I know you gon' let me shine and get mine. I know you gon' let me in with this 9. I know you gon' let me smoke up my weed. I know you gon' let me drink with no ID.
Alright, early pause just so you can get kind of a early opinion from you on this one. What are you thinking so far?
I kind of like it. It's not like you said, it's not the
It's
same
more
as,
gritty. It's more like grimy.
Yeah.
The bass kind of, or not the bass, but just like the drums, they hit harder. It's not more of like a flow. It's more of like a boom, 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 almost like a kind of like there's like whole like crunk kind of thing. It's a little bit of
I was just thinking
that,
the same
but
thing,
not quite like so far into it as like Little John's kind of style, basically.
Yeah.
So it differentiates him from the other members of G-Unit. He's, Southern rap at this point was starting to turn and not be so much more about like lyrics. Like he's not really spitting anything too like hard. You know what I mean? Like his cadence isn't really too difficult or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's more of like it's just more. I keep trying to not say that V word vibe, but it's just it's completely different feel to it. So it's a southern vibe. There, I finally said it. A year and a half into it, almost 2 years. Here we go.
But I'm winning at the same time. Took a couple shots from some niggas trying to take mine. I'm back on the block with a chopper and a Tick 9. Niggas shooting cops in the hood, running stop signs. G-Unit the gang, we just doing what the thugs do. GDs, Vice Lords, Crips, and the Bloods too. Move, let me come through. It ain't a pair of handcuffs can hold me. I'm riding in the old school, listening to some oldies. My gold shining, them oldies. Crying, handling my 4-5, outlined in diamonds. Just left Cashville, about to fly to Miami. Hoping Yayo watching Eminem perform at the Grammys. The reason niggas like Eric Benet probably can't stand it, cause I know money will make Halle Berry come out the panties. Bitch, niggas in trouble. They should've never let
Halle Berry
me
needs
in.
any.
I know you gon' let me shine and get mine. I know you gon' let me in with this 9. I know you gon' let me smoke up my weed. I know you gon' let me drink with no ID. I know you gon' let me shine and get mine. I know you gon' let me in with this 9. I know you gon' let me smoke up my weed. I know you gon' let me drink with no ID.
So just a couple things before we finish this one off. But he in the chorus he says, "I know you're gonna let me drink with no ID." I don't know if that's like a metaphor or not, because obviously you need to have an ID to get into the club. But there's also a producer named No ID. I don't know if he was around at this time and maybe he produced this. Somebody let me know in the comments down below.
Possibly.
And he also talks about like hoping Yayo watching Eminem perform at the Grammys. So the reason why Tony Yayo was not really around when 50 Cent first came out and busted on the scene is he was locked up. So he like missed the beginnings of the boom of G Unit. So a lot of songs they kind of give tribute to him. So that's why it's like hopefully Tony Yayo was like able to at least watch or whatever. I don't recall what he was in for, but just a couple pieces of info. So let's finish this one off here.
Make them bounce back, teach them how to stunt, teach them how to count stacks. Know where your hood at, walk if you want to. We 50 deep up in here, what you gonna do? Who want beef? I ain't come for no name calling. Don't be mad cause we is and you ain't ballin'. Get money is my motto for you broke folks. Can't spend your whole life paying on a car note. It's alright if you're still on the block, boy. See, I'm a cold young thug, not a hot boy. You know I do this for the streets and my peeps that's behind bars. Soon as they come home, I'm going by my own cars, young boy. I know you gon' let me shine and get mine. I know you gon' let me in with this 9. I know you gon' let me smoke up my weed. I know you gon' let me drink with no ID. I know you gon' let me shine and get mine. I know you gon' let me in with this 9. I know you gon' let me smoke up my weed. I know you gon' let me drink with no ID. From beginning to the end, go show.
You let's throw that on the song. It works. Very much a southern beat. All right, that was "Let Me In," Young Buck featuring very little of 50 Cent. Like I said, probably just threw him on at the beginning and the end there to commercialize the song enough as the first single. But what did you think overall about that one?
I liked it better than I expected to like it. But when
Wouldn't have expected that answer, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Did
I
like it at all?
wasn't. I was not sure.
Oh no, I didn't hate it. It was definitely not a thumbs down completely.
Yeah,
No.
it's kind of funny. A lot of him talking about all this money and stuff because eventually he would get kicked out of G Unit by 50 Cent because Young Buck was just out wilding in the streets basically and blowing all his money and not being smart with it and all this other stuff. And I think he ended up becoming broke. So I guess that was his motto for broke folks like him, like he said. But yeah, so that was a surprising answer. I wasn't really expecting that out of Mom. She didn't hate it. Hopefully you guys didn't hate it. If you did not, hopefully you enjoyed it. And hit that thumbs up. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subbed yet. For the next one, I'm not sure what we're going to be doing. Probably some more people that we haven't heard in a while. And I'll continue to introduce some new artists as well here in between. And then maybe a music video coming up here in the future.
Oh.
Unless it gets blocked. I guess you will have to stick around and find out like everybody else. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But until the next one, that's all we got tonight. Make sure you return for the following one next Sunday night and all the other fun stuff in between. But yeah, have a good one, guys. We'll see you real soon.